At ease, brothers. Man, first off, real quick, man, I want to say I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate anybody that subscribed to this channel, that watches my content, that's a part of the Power Circle, that's a part of Exit Strategies, that have purchased my book, that have purchased any products. I want to say I appreciate you, and in order to show you that appreciation, I'm putting together, man, something that should be announced within the next 24 hours. So by watching this video, you may see it in the description box, but I'm looking forward to it, right? Anyway, man, today, brothers, I want to talk about abundance. And the reason I want to talk about abundance, man, is because I understand that the far majority of people don't know where it is. A lot of people are calling it something that it's not. And I'm here to tell you, brothers, abundance is not what you think. Because a lot of people think that abundance is, the square footage you live in. A lot of people think abundance is the degrees you have rolling off the business card. A lot of people think abundance is the emblem that's on front of the vehicle that you're driving. A lot of people think that it's the dollar amount of the drip you're wearing or whatever, right? But I'm telling you, man, a lot of people will spend the rest of their days searching for abundance in those things. And I promise you, man, they'll never find it. They'll never find it. And I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you from a person that was searching for it in those things, and one day found out that I was running in the wrong direction looking for it, right? And I'm gonna tell you how I found it, man. I found it back in, I'll say it was 2015. I found it in 2015, man. I was living in Dallas then, man. And I had this baddie from Houston I was talking to, man. She came up to Dallas, man, to spend some time with your boy. And we were in Deep Ellum. I'm not sure if we were eating in Deep Ellum or if I was getting some ink. But anyway, we were leaving Deep Ellum, man, getting ready to go to this events after party, right, in downtown. And I can remember leaving Deep Ellum, man, and I had this thing back then, right? I had this thing where, bro, at least every day I had to have at least one box or bag of peanut M&Ms, right? And I can remember leaving Deep Ellum, going to this event, saying, "Hey, I got to stop and get some peanut M&Ms," right? And just to kind of give you just kind of paint the picture, man, like life was good. That was a part of my life, man, where I really hit some milestones, that I thought I'd never accomplish, man. I was working a job, man, and my salary was fat. You know what I'm saying? Had a badass crib. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing a bad whip, Benz, 5.5, right? And I'm sitting here headed to a dope party with a baddie beside me. Thicker than train smoke. You know what I'm saying? And I pull up to this 7-Eleven downtown. I believe it was on the corner of Elm and Irvay, right? And I can remember pulling up front, man, getting ready to go in and get these M&Ms, right? And I can remember seeing these. It was a homeless couple, right? It was a man and a woman. They had to be in their, I would say they were in their 30s at the time. They were roughly in their 30s, right? And I can remember, man, me being in that state that I was, man, being on top of the world, thinking that I had life going on. I can remember walking in this 7-Eleven and looking to the side, walking in, and I saw them sitting there. They were sitting there, man, grocery cart, blankets, and the homeless setup, man, the normal homeless setup. And I remember feeling sad as I was walking in the store. And the whole time I'm walking in the store, I'm feeling that sorrow, man. I'm an empath, so I'm feeling what they're feeling. And I'm just like, man, like how does that happen? How do you get to that state? You know what I'm saying? And I can remember getting my M&Ms and a few other things, and I'm getting ready to check out. And all of a sudden, man, my phone is going on. Bring, bring, bring. And it's Shorty in the car sending me all kind of sexy pics, man. Sending me pics of the panties, sending me pics of her toes on the dash, the whole shebang, you know what I'm saying? She on right now, right? And I can remember, man, just being brought back to my reality that, damn, like life is good. right? And I can remember this. I can remember I was getting ready to walk out the store, right? And all I could hear was like people laughing, right? Just people just like laughing, right? And I can remember walking out the store, man, going back to my car. And this same homeless couple is sitting there cracking up. And I don't know what they're laughing at, man, but you know, like when you're laughing so hard, man, where you can't even breathe. Oh boy, couldn't even breathe. He was laughing so hard. And old girl just sitting there slapping him, man, like, you know, man, like she, you know how it is, man, when y'all, you know, when two people are just cutting up and crying, laughing. And I can remember, man, walking around my car looking at him. And the look that I saw on this brother's face, it was different than the look that I saw when I walked in. It was a look of fulfillment. And what I mean by that, man, you know, this guy didn't have nothing, man. He's sitting out there with his woman, a shopping cart, you know, probably the same clothes he's been wearing for who knows how long, and blankets and just a horrible situation. And he had a look on his face, man, of just pure fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? And I can remember getting in the car, man, and old girl was still sitting there talking. You know, I'm sitting there flirting, man. But all I could focus on was the homeless dude and his lady. And I can remember as I was driving off, man, I was just locked in eye contact with this guy. And what I understood was, I understood that all the shiny things that I had, I understood that he had something that I didn't have. And I could understand that by the way he was looking at me, he understood that there was something he had that I didn't have. And I can remember driving to this party, man, and all I could think about was bro was vibrating somewhere that I couldn't really identify. And what that brother was tapped into was what I later found out to be abundance. So what exactly had he tapped into that I found out at a later time, man? If you're familiar with Michelangelo and his works, right? In the early 1500s, man, Michelangelo painted a picture on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, right? Michelangelo painted a picture of two beings, and they were reaching out, and their fingers were about to touch. And one of these beings, man, was this spiritual being, and one of these beings was this physical being, right? And what Michelangelo was depicting, man, was the moments before, or the process of connecting all things together. Was the process of connecting all things physical and all things spiritual together. The heavenly and the earthly man were coming together as one. So when I say the brother had found abundance, the brother had found what Michelangelo was depicting. And the thing is this thing that he found, it can't be taught in churches. Like it can't be given to you in synagogues. It can't be given to you in mosques. It can't be given to you in mass. Like the only way you can find this thing that he found is by going inside. And I call it abundance, and that's what it is. But really what I call it nowadays is immortality. The man had found immortality. In other words, all things become one. And I'm gonna tell you this, like people can say God and all these other words, but I'm gonna tell you, very few people have seen God. Very few people have seen God. To see that thing, man, is to find immortality. And I'm gonna tell you this. When you find that thing and you understand that the places that you had been looking for it all these years, brother, there is a high that comes over you, man, that can't be explained. It can't be explained. Like I use that word fulfillment, and I know that's but that word really doesn't do justice to this vibe that you get. You'll look around at all of your things, man, and realize that what you've been searching for, man, is really just kind of like I say in the singular truth, or just empty carcasses made by the hands of men. That's where we're looking for our abundance at, man. We're looking for our abundance in carcasses, in things made by the hands of man. And I love when I see people going through this transition, because I remember as soon as I found that abundance, but I went through this stage of getting rid of everything. I got rid of my car. I sold some clothes. I sold a watch. I sold a lot of stuff, and I left that setting. That's when I moved from downtown and moved out here to the burbs, right? I wanted to distance myself from my old life. I love what's his name? Alex. I talked about him probably a year or two ago. The guy that used to make the videos with the Lambo in his garage. Alex Becker, man. When Alex Becker had that mansion, had that Lambo, right? And all of a sudden he just sold it and moved to Austin and got him a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment, you know. And he was explaining this. He spent 2 or 3 videos explaining this. When I was watching, I'm like, bro, I understand what he was explaining, right? A lot of times, man, you want to just get rid of everything because it's a feeling of, damn, like I've been searching for really God and all these things, man. So that's when I really found out what abundance was. And to be honest, I could sit here and talk about it, man, for a whole hour and a half, 2 hours. You really won't understand what I'm saying until you feel it. You really won't understand. I can use all the words in the dictionary. You really won't understand what I'm saying until you feel it, man. So how does a person find abundance? How does a person find this abundance that I speak of? I'll say this. The first thing a man must do is stop looking for it in the places that he's been looking for it in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying get off your grind. I'm not saying stop pursuing the goals. I'm not even saying to not get the shiny things in the fast. I'm not even saying that. Get those things. But understand that what you're really looking for is not within those things. So if you want to find this abundance that I speak of, man, the first thing is stop looking for abundance in the physical things. Because what people are looking for, man, is what people are looking for is just a glimpse of that fulfillment. And I say it all the time. When you hit that bud, turn that bottle up, holler at that chick, pull off in that brand new car, get the new chain, get the new drip. What you're looking for is abundance. And I'm gonna tell you, to be honest, there's a hairline of abundance within it. For a few minutes, you're feeling abundance, but it's quickly gone because it's not the real deal. Of course, there's a piece of God in everything, so you're just getting that hair follicle of abundance. But the first thing you need to do, man, to find that abundance, man, is understand that it's not what you thought it was, and to stop looking for it in the things that you've been looking for within, right? And the second thing I'll say in order to find that abundance is you have to give a middle finger to the world. You have to give a middle finger to the world. And when I say that, what I mean is like what people call success. You got to give a middle finger to it, man. If people are saying, oh, well, success is you got to have this and you got to live in this place and you got to have this kind of thing on your paperwork and you got to look like this. Put a middle finger up, man, for that level of success. Because the abundance you seek is nowhere in that. It's nowhere in that. Put a middle finger up to the beauty standards and the masculinity and successful standards that the world has created, man. Like the woman that you're supposed to be attracted to, the things that you call beautiful, that the world calls beautiful, trash it. Trash it and redefine what that is for you. Redefine what people call happiness. Your level of happiness. Because a lot of people will define happiness is, like I said earlier, living in a certain amount of square footage, driving a certain amount of things, wearing a certain amount of clothes, right? Redefine that. Redefine what happiness is for you, man. Because you gotta understand the world is teaching you to run from abundance. So when you start redefining what happiness and successful is for you, middle finger to the world, you'll start to see abundance, man. There's this Bible verse, man. It's 1 John 2:15. And it says this. It says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If you love the world, love the Father is not in you." If you love the world, the loving the Father is not in you. And I can remember hearing that, man, as a young man and not really understanding what that meant. I was like, what do you mean don't love the world? Because if you love the world, you can't love the all. I didn't understand what that meant. But what that was saying a million things. It was saying that abundance is not there, and really to live life on your own terms. Live life on your own terms. Define this world as you want to define it, not as the world wants you to define it. Don't fall victim to the systems of this world, right? That's the second thing. And the third thing is this. And again, this goes back to the picture that Michelangelo was painting. Put all things on one accord. Put all things on one accord. And I use the same example to really explain what I mean when I say that. When I say, make sure you're the same person in every room. And I say it like that, hopefully so people can understand. But what I'm really saying is only have one identity and one truth. Only have one bowl of sustenance that you eat from. I'll say it like that. Only have one version of you. Only have one truth, which means you got to forfeit the truth of the world. Like and religion is a beautiful thing, trust me. But religion is teaching, certain practices and certain principles and certain relationships with source and yada, yada, yada. I'm not saying don't partake in those, but have your own truth. Have your own truth. Have your own connection with source. You know what I'm saying? When I say come on one accord, make sure that the beliefs and principles and all that stuff and power that the spiritual side of you have, make sure that your ego side agrees to it. Make sure it agrees to it. Like people talk about knowledge of self all the time. That's what knowledge of self is. Knowledge of self is not being able to quote Bobby Hemmett. Knowledge of self is not being able to quote every single Bible verse known to man. Knowledge of self is not being able to come online and talk about certain books that you read. Knowledge of self is knowing that your higher self and your lower self are supposed to be one. That's the look that I saw on the homeless man's face. I'm looking at his face and his world was one. There was no difference, even though my physical mind was saying, man, bro living rough. Bro out here, he probably ain't had a shower. He probably ain't had nothing but some 99-cent burgers all day. Like, bro's living rough. But that man had tapped into something that at the time I had never experienced, bro. I never knew existed. And I'm telling you, man, from that point, once you find that thing, all things that come after that, man, they'll be in their proper places because you will have found fulfillment. You'll no longer care about the acceptance of man. You won't even care about it. It'll be nothingness in coming in one ear and going out the other. The approval of man? Approval of man for what? When you found the all, when you found abundance, brothers. Like I said, man, there's no other. I could sit here and talk all day. There are no words that I could really say to make you understand that feeling. Just like when I saw that homeless guy's face, there was nothing he could have said to let me know what he felt, but I could see what he felt. Abundance, bro. And I promise you this, man. Once you tap into that thing, man, your life will never be the same. Your life will really just now be starting to, you'll really just now be experiencing life for the first time. So find abundance, brothers. Find abundance, sisters. And again, look for that notification. Look for that link in the description box, man. I have something very special coming for y'all just to show y'all appreciation. Y'all have a good one, man.